You're not scattered because you lack discipline. You're scattered because your life has no architecture. 8 apps, nothing connected. Every day you spend more energy managing tools than doing actual work. The real problem isn't the apps, it's that you have no system. I'm going to show you what one actually looks like and why most people never build one. Hi, my name is Matt, and I've been building and testing life management systems on myself for 6 years. Most of them broke within weeks, but the current version is the first one that actually stuck. I live inside it daily and it runs my whole life. I'm going to show you 5 boards that cover every part of my life. Then I will show you how they connect, because that's where the real power is. And then I will show you the AI layer. That's where it stops being a system you maintain and starts being a system that tells you what to do. For years, I had an app for everything. And the real cost wasn't the duplicated data or the wasted time. It was the background process running in my head at all times. Where is that? Did I capture that? Which app has what I need right now? That noise was draining me every single day. Not the work, just the overhead of managing scattered tools. And when I finally felt that pain badly enough, I did what most people do. I went looking for a better task manager. A task manager manages tasks. That's it. It doesn't manage your goals, your knowledge, your relationships, your finance, or your time. It handles one layer of your life, and your life has dozens. So once I added another app, the chaos got deeper, not smaller. I tried more discipline, stricter routines, more willpower, but discipline doesn't fix architecture problems. You can be the most disciplined person alive, but if your information lives in 10 disconnected places, willpower won't connect it. And that's when it hit me. I didn't need another app, I needed a system. So I created one. Let me show you what it looks like. The first board is the main command center called Action Board. At the top, I see the current day and the current week. To fully focus on a task, I need to know what I'm actually working on right now. So here I can see current time tracking. It shows the current task, the life area it belongs to, and how long it's been running. It will be used for time reports later on. My task list is where most of the work happens. But a flat list with no context is just a noise. You can't tell what matters or why. So the list is grouped by life area. Within each life area, tasks are sorted by priority. Every task is connected to the parent task and the goal it belongs to. Below the tasks, I have focused DoDs. These are the definitions of done I've committed to delivering this week. A definition of done is a slice of a goal, a concrete chunk of progress that moves the goal forward. Each DoD is tied to a goal, which is tied to my life vision. So every task I touch today traces back to where I'm actually trying to go. Below the DoDs, I can see the current quarter goals. Below that, my current target lifestyle and target life vision. Everything on this page runs from top to bottom. Tasks to definitions of done, to goals, to lifestyle, to vision. But a task list without time context is just a guess about what matters. Here is where that gets solved. On the right side column, under the tasks scheduled for today, which are just the tasks that have specific time assigned to it, I can see the time alignment. It shows me for this week exactly how much time I allocated to each life area versus how much I've actually tracked. Green means on track, red means behind. Real-time feedback on whether my actual life matches my plan. This is the board where I'm spending the most time in. One page that shows what I'm tracking right now, tasks sorted by life area and priority, this week's focus, current quarter goals, my current target lifestyle and life vision, today's schedule, and time alignment. No switching. But having the right tasks is only half of it. You could work hard every day and still be starving the areas of your life that actually matter most. That's what the next board is for. Most people spend years being productive and never ask the question that matters. What parts of my life actually got my time this week? Health, relationship, the things that don't have deadlines. They quietly lose to whatever has a deadline. And then one day you look back and realize you were productive for years and still ended up with the life you didn't design. This board is the only way I know to catch that before it becomes a regret. Every week, I set a time budget during my planning routine. How much for sleep, how much for each life area, how much for joy. And here I can see it week by week. On the action board, I can see time alignment for current week. Here I see the same thing but across several recent weeks at once. But below that is where it gets detailed, the time metrics. This is a full report of where my time actually went, built from everything I tracked. It's split into tracked time and untracked time. I expend tracked time and I see 4 categories: sleep, duties, joy, other. I expend duties and I see each life area. I expend a life area and I see each goal. Then I expend a goal and I see each of its tasks, all the way down to subtasks. I can also expend joy and other and see exactly how I spend my time in these categories. And I can look at all of this by week, day, month, quarter, or year. Not just whether I'm on track, but where every single minute of my life went. That's the first 2 boards. The tasks are sorted. The time is tracked. But I was still missing something. And when I added it, it changed how I think about money entirely. The finance board is where I manage my entire financial picture: cash, assets, cash flow, budgets, accounts, subscriptions, transactions. Everything in one place. At the very top, I see 3 numbers: cash across all accounts, my total assets portfolio value, and cash flow for this month. 3 seconds and I know exactly where I stand financially. Below that is budget usage. I can see 2 groups here: costs of living categories like housing, food and drinks, transport, utilities, and then categories tied to my life areas. Every card shows how much I've spent versus what I planned. Food and drinks is at 28%, housing is already at 100. Only categories with a budget assigned show up here. I set those budgets during my monthly finance review, so there are no surprises at the end of the month. I either hit my budget or I didn't. I can see that right now. Farther down, I have finance metrics, which show cash flow trends, net worth, safety runway, all tracked monthly, quarterly, and yearly. Then my accounts with live balances. Categories, assets split into types like crypto, stocks, or real estate. Subscriptions with monthly and yearly totals. And at the bottom, a full transactions ledger. Everything that touches my money is in here. Now I know exactly where I stand financially. Any day, anytime. If you want to start using this system yourself, I made a free Notion template with about 50% of the full system's functionality. Link in the description. But here is a gap I didn't see coming, and it's not the one you would expect. I thought the chaos was solved after the first 3 boards. Tasks connected, time tracked, money visible, but then I hit a different problem: relationships. I would look up and realize I hadn't spoken to someone I genuinely cared about in months. Not because anything broke, because nothing reminded me they existed. And when I tried to think about who I even knew, it was a mess. I couldn't tell who was from which industry, who I would met where, what we would last talked about. The 4th board solves all of that. Every person I know is here, organized by group: family, friends, colleagues, clients, prospects. Each contact has a full profile: industry, company, skills, languages, interests. I can tell you immediately who someone is and how they fit into my life. Below that, I log every interaction, every meeting, call, message. Each entry is linked to the person and dated. So I have full history of every relationship. I also track relationships between contacts: who introduced me to whom, who works with whom. So I can see how the people in my network are connected to each other. And below the relations, I have attributes: every location, every industry, every skill, with the full list of contacts behind it. I can open crypto and see every person I know in that space. I can open Warsaw and see who I know there. That's what was missing. Not just names, a searchable, filterable map of my entire network. On the right, I see 3 panels: follow-ups, which is people which I need to reach out to right now; birthdays, which is upcoming dates I won't miss; and neglected contacts, which is people the system flags because too much time has passed without any interaction with them. And at the bottom, contact metrics: how many interactions I've had, how many new people I've met across different time periods. Without this, these people would quietly disappear. The system makes sure they don't. So relationships covered. The system tracks them, flags the ones going cold, reminds you before they fade. But there is still one gap I hadn't fixed, and it might be the most expensive one. Everything you read, watch, and listen to. What actually happens to it? most of it disappears. You finish a book and 2 weeks later you can't pull a single thing from it. You save videos to watch later and never watch them. You take notes that go nowhere. The knowledge board is what changes that. At the top, I see my active books and courses. Everything I'm actively working through in one place. Below that is the content queue and every source I follow. YouTube channels, Twitter accounts, article feeds are added once. New content appears automatically from that point. No manual saving. All auto-pulled, all tagged to a knowledge area, all ready to consume. Then there is notes and thoughts. Every time I read something worth keeping, I capture a note here. That note gets linked to the book, the content item, and the knowledge area it belongs to. Notes also connect back to tasks and goals, and I can see them from the tasks or goal page. So everything I read stops being information and starts being something I can actually act on. Below that, I have knowledge areas. Each area is linked to a life area. They have parent-child structure. I can expand any area and see the sub-areas underneath it. And at the bottom, there are knowledge metrics. How many books, courses, and content items I have finished across every time period. On the right, I have quick add buttons for everything. Add a book, add a course, add a YouTube source, add a note. Below that, I can see a quick overview. How many content items are still waiting by format, status breakdown of all my books, and status breakdown of all my courses. Before this, everything I read disappeared. Now it doesn't. But here is the real question. If you throw everything into one place, doesn't it just become a junk drawer? Exactly. Because putting everything in one place is only half the answer. The true power is that when you sit down, the system tells you what matters, what's next, and what you are forgetting. That's the difference between a system you admire and a system you live in. In my system, every planning session is guided. Daily planning, weekly review, quarterly retrospective. Each one is a structured routine with exact steps. I open it, follow the flow, close it. No figuring out what to check. But running all of that is still work. Reviews take time, planning sessions take effort, and between sessions you still have to figure out what matters right now. That friction builds up, and it's exactly what makes people stop. So I built a dedicated app that connects directly to this system. It contains a voice AI assistant that I can talk to. Every morning I open it and ask, what should I work on right now? The assistant checks my task list, identifies which life area I've blocked time for right now, and pulls the highest priority task from that area. Then suggests it to me. I get a specific task recommendation with full context. No clicking through dashboards, no decision fatigue, just here is what to do and here is why. Beyond that, the assistant can help me plan my day, run my weekly review, or capture a new contact while I'm walking. All by voice. I speak, the system reacts, the friction disappears. And on the top of that, there are automations that run while I sleep. Stock and crypto prices update every morning. My knowledge feed pulls new content from every source I follow. Metrics recalculate. I open the system and everything is already current, and I didn't have to insert anything manually. The free template solves the architecture problem. The full Execution Compass app with routines, voice AI, and backend automations solves the friction problem. If you want the full system with the AI layer that tells you what to do and when, that's what Execution Compass is. Early access is open. You can get it at executioncompass.co. Link in the description. If you got value from this, hit like and subscribe. In the next videos, I will be going deeper into each part of the system. You didn't need more apps. You needed architecture. Now you've seen what that looks like. Time to start using it in your life.